Okay. I had a thought this morning, and the thought was this. Sometimes we don't even realize that we are literally dating our trauma. We are literally in a relationship with another person that is really our trauma. And I don't necessarily mean in a sense that the other person is our trauma. I mean in a sense where our trauma has not been healed at all. So a lot of the times we will literally date our trauma. And this even came to me today that we will even be in friendship based off of our trauma. We will even stay in connections with other people based off our trauma. So stop dating your trauma is what I want to say. When you are so unhealed, when you are such in a place where your childhood wounds ain't healed, you got daddy abandonment issues, you got mommy abandonment issues, you got neglect issues. It's like your anxious attachment style is really, like anxious. If a person moves too far away from you, or if a person is not being attentive to you the way you would expect it, it's like your trauma from your past relationships that damaged you. It's like all of these things is trauma. And to me, you got to realize this, that when you go out here and you try to be in a relationship or try to date somebody else, you are literally just going to date your trauma. That's it. You are literally getting ready to date your own trauma. That's it. And even if the other person has not done the work to really heal and integrate like they demons and they light side to really heal a lot of their trauma and their childhood wounds or their mommy issues or their abandonment issues, and sometimes a person's trauma can look like this, where they literally will jump woman to woman to woman, or they will jump man to man to man. It's like they'll jump all of these different people, when really if you look at even that, a woman or a man that's jumping from woman to woman or man to man, that's really trauma as well, because it's more of a trauma that is looking for somebody to fill that void, because it's a fear of, if I have to be alone, it's a fear of, if I have to go through this by myself without focusing on somebody else's trauma, then I got to deal with this shit by myself. Like, I literally have to deal with my own baggage, my own shit that's all unhealed. I have to unpack this all by myself. So a lot of the times, that's why you may see men and women jump woman to woman to woman to woman, or the woman may jump man to man to man, because it's literally a fear of having to unpack all of this shit by yourself. That's really only your trauma to unpack, your trauma to heal. So we'll pull other people in so we don't have to unpack all of this trauma. All of our nervous system is so fucked up and out of whack. You know what I'm saying? Our childhood was fucked up. And so here we are trying to figure life out as adults, and how to have a balanced life, a balanced nervous system, how to heal your trauma, how to stop dating your trauma in another person, how to stop being in these relationships where all it is based off of trauma. So here we are as adults trying to unpack all of this. And one thing I do know is this, is that from experience, I don't care how many women a man jumped to, no woman is going to be able to unpack his trauma but him. I don't care how much you think you are the best type of person. If he is not ready to unpack his trauma and heal it, it is nothing you can do. If she is just in a space where she's jumping man to man to man to man. I don't care how many men she sleep with. I don't care how many men she jump to. None of them men are going to be able to unpack her trauma. None. None are. None are going to be able to unpack her trauma. None of them men are going to even be able to make her happy, even if it's in a healthy way. Because her trauma is so deep embedded and so unhealed and so unpacked, where it's going to always come out and affect that relationship or that person she dating or that partnership he in. His trauma, her trauma is going to always come out and be the main character in their relationship, the main character while they're dating. So what I'm saying to you is that even when it comes to our friendships, I was even thinking about this morning. It was moments where I picked certain friends, but I didn't even realize back then, but I picked them based off my trauma. So certain friends I had and I picked at that season and at that time, I solely picked them based off my trauma. So when even, and I go her, even if you look at the job you on, right? And you look at your coworkers, and you look at the coworkers that you are more connected to, a lot of the times we're even the coworkers that we connect ourselves to, and we, always like linking up and just real, just all, always with them. And even if it's not at work, or even if it's at work, but we always with these people, sometimes you can even pick the coworkers you hang out with based off your trauma. So that means if you have a coworker that's always gossiping, a coworker that's always negative, a coworker that's always like putting her mouth on other people, you're connecting with that coworker because why? You're connecting with her trauma. And her trauma could be that she's always been betrayed her whole life, and people has always put her mouth on her. So now in return, she puts her mouth on everybody else and downgrade everybody else. That's still trauma in a different form. So what I'm trying to tell you is stop dating your trauma. Am I saying that it's going to be easy? No. But what I am saying is this, is that if you don't stop dating your trauma is going to be the very fact and the very reason why every single dynamic or connection you get into will fail, will eventually come falling down, will eventually crumble, will eventually come to an end. You cannot heal somebody else's trauma. You can only heal yours. That other person that you're dating cannot heal your trauma. They can only heal theirs. But a lot of the times what we do is because we don't want to focus on our own trauma. We give ourselves projects with other people's trauma. So let's say, for instance, you have not healed your trauma at all. You haven't even tapped into your childhood wounds or your childhood issues. Say from your childhood, your mother neglected you a lot, or you never got that love or that support. So it's a lack of love. It's a lack of self-care. It's a lack of not feeling worthy. So what we will do is we will literally pick a partner or start dating somebody to look at their trauma, because it's too hard to look at our own. So you got two people, just stay with me. You got two people dating, right? So this person has not healed their trauma at all. They have not healed it. They have not went in deep into their childhood wounds to figure out what abandonment issues they have, what happened with their mother, what happened with their father. They don't even understand why they process things the way they process things. So you have all of these traumas, even traumas from past relationships that damaged and broke you that you haven't even tapped into to even deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So this person has not even touched their trauma, has not even healed it. And this person goes out here and start trying to date people. And then this person meets this person. But what happens is this person starts to date this person. But they instantly clash. They instantly, like, they don't clash right out the gate, but I give it maybe a week or two, maybe even 3 weeks. They start clashing real bad. Both of them start clashing. Because it seemed like it was going great at first, and then they start clashing. So she starts to look at him, and in her mental, she's saying, he is acting just like the rest of the men I ever dealt with. The same thing that all the other men doing, he doing it. He is saying in his mind, when it come to her, she ain't no different than all the other women I dealt with. She's doing the same old shit that all the other women did to me. So now both of them are looking at each other in a certain way based off trauma. And now they start clashing. They start bumping heads. They start going at each other. But what neither one of them is taking the time to realize is this. The reason why she can look at him and say he is just like the rest of the men I ever dealt with is because she haven't even healed her past trauma from all the other men that broke her. She hasn't healed her past trauma from all the trust that was broken from all those other dynamics and those other connections and those other relationships. She haven't even took the time to get to the root of why she feels like she has to have this anxious attachment style to men. But not knowing it was due to her childhood. It was her mother wound. It was her daddy wound that she ain't even felt or dealt with yet. So here it comes. She bring all of this baggage over to this man. And he don't want to deal with her baggage. He don't have time for it. Because he already got his shit. He ain't even unpacked yet. And he comes and bring all his baggage to her. She don't want to deal with it. Because she ain't even unpacked all her baggage and her shit from her past and her childhood that she's still damaged by. So you got two people that brought their baggage to each other. But they never even brought their authentic selves. All they brought was trauma, relationships that broke them down, childhood wounds where your mama wasn't there, your daddy issues, your mama issues. They brought their trust issues into the dynamic. So you got two people right here that came together in dating. Then neither one of them came authentically. Both came with all the baggage and the trauma. And both of them came looking for the other person to fix as a project so they don't have to fix their own shit. And a month later, you got two people clashing real bad at each other, tearing each other down. Because neither one of them is getting to the root that she's not even getting to the root that I dated him based off my trauma. That's why every man I get into a relationship with or I start dating, it's like he's the product of that same old relationship I used to have, but it's just a different face and a different body, but the same energy, the same spirit, the same habits, the same cycles, the same dynamics in this new man that I had in my past relationships that broke me down. And he, on the other hand, comes into this dynamic. She's doing the same thing that all the other women did. She ain't no different than the other women. And what he don't realize is that he's looking at you Like, I see she got a different face and a different body, but she ain't no different than all the other women that broke my trust. She ain't no different than all the other women that broke me down. She ain't no different than all the other women that used me up. So you got two people that neither one of them has healed from their past or their wounds or the relationships prior to them that broke them down completely. So now he's coming and she's coming. So when they start dating, she hands him all her trauma. And she's looking for him to fix her. She's looking for him to heal the broken trust, the damage, the fact that she's damaged emotionally and mentally and even spiritually for real from her past relationships that she never even got to heal from. So she's bringing all of that past shit into where she's at with this new person and literally not saying it out loud, but in so many words, handing all of her fucking trauma to this new person and saying, now you heal it. Everything that everybody else done to me in the past, everything that everybody else done to break me down, to damage me, to hurt me, you heal it. You heal it. And he's looking at her like, I didn't do all of that to you. I didn't damage you like the rest of them did. I didn't destroy your trust. You know, I didn't leave you with abandonment issues or neglect issues. I wasn't your mother or your father that actually left you feeling like you was neglected or you was not good enough or you didn't deserve love. I didn't do that. That was your mom and your daddy. I wasn't like that. I didn't do that. I didn't do what the other dude did. I didn't cheat on you. I didn't break you down. He broke you down mentally and emotionally and spiritually and even physically. He damaged you. He broke your trust. He made your self-worth so low. He drug your self-esteem through the mud. I didn't do that. So she brings all of this trauma to this man and say, you heal it. And by the time you look up, he brings his trauma to all her. And he's telling her, now you got to heal my mommy issues. You got to heal the fact that I was neglected and felt abandoned by my mother. You got to heal the fact that my mother didn't give me the security and the love that I needed to make me feel worthy or make me feel like I was good enough for any woman. You got to heal the fact that all the other women I dealt with, they used me up. They actually damaged me. I actually wasn't as bad, but I got damaged from all the prior relationships that fucked me up so bad mentally and emotionally. And I'm still fucked up mentally and emotionally and even spiritually and physically. I'm really still fucked up, but I don't want to deal with that baggage from all the other relationships that fucked me up so bad mentally, to where now I'm going to bring all my bullshit and my trauma to you, and you got to heal it for all the other people that damaged me. And she looking at him like, I didn't do all of that to you though. I didn't damage you like all them other women did. I didn't break you down either like that. That was your mom and your daddy that did that to you from childhood. That was all the other women that you got into relationships with that broke you down mentally, broke you emotionally, broke you down spiritually, even physically, where now you're damaged, where you don't know how to trust, where you're damaged goods. I didn't break you down like those women did. But what he does is come into this dynamic with her and holds her accountable for what everybody else did to him. And she comes into this dynamic with him and holds him accountable for what everybody else did to her. And neither one of them are accountable, or neither one of them should be held accountable to heal the other person's trauma that they didn't create in each other. But because you're dating from your trauma, this is the dynamic you get every time. So here's what I want to say. When you get to a point where you can identify a person in yourself, and if you start to realize the patterns, okay, even if you're just starting to meet somebody and it seems like it's getting chaotic real quick. So say for instance, you're just starting to date somebody and it seems like it's starting to get chaotic too quick. Baby, that's trauma. That's not healthy. That's trauma already taking root in the dating process. before you even get to the relationship. Trauma is already taking its form, rearing its ugly head now. And what you have to do is pull away from those dynamics. And I'm not saying that it's easy, because you could like the person, but you got to understand down the road it's going to affect you more when you got to deal with another layer of trauma. So what I want to say is this. None of us are going to get it all the way. That's my belief. Like, none of us are perfect. None of us ain't going to be 100% accurate about all the trauma we got and healing it all in one walk. That's not even possible. That's why God gives us permission to be here in these bodies for a certain amount of time, because he wants us to heal from past lives that we have had. But it's not going to come overnight. It's not going to even come in a month or 2 or 3. No, it takes time. It takes energy. It takes a solid decision, and it takes you being so conscious and aware of your own trauma and your own shit that you got going on within you internally, where when someone else that you're getting to know comes to you and you can see the trauma on them, it won't be something you go towards. It'll be something you step back from. Because now you get it. Now you get it. To me, self-awareness is the best awareness. Because without self-awareness, you will continue to walk in doors that eventually you will realize, I should never walked in this door. Eventually you will begin to see that, okay, I should never have started dating this person. Self-awareness is the best awareness, because it will make you so aware of yourself, and it will make you so aware of other people and what you finna get into before you get into it. So here is what I say. Don't give nobody else the power to unpack your trauma or to even heal your trauma. You heal your own trauma. Because when you start giving somebody else power over your trauma to heal it, they get to control you. They get to manipulate you. They get to gaslight you. They get to do whatever they want to you. Why? Because you have literally relinquished control of your trauma over to them to do as they will please. So the best thing you can do, I'm not even saying don't date. I'm not saying don't date. Date. Have fun. That's my thing. Date. Have fun. And if you get in another relationship, have fun with that. But what I am saying is this. Don't date from your trauma. But give yourself time to become so aware of your own trauma that even if you start dating someone else while you're working on healing your own trauma, you'll be able to identify it in somebody else. And you'll be able to decide from a place of awareness or self-awareness, do I want to connect with this person? Or is this a situation that I feel is not going to be too good for me because I'm still working on my own trauma? The goal and the purpose is for us. I'm talking about all of us. The goal and the purpose is for all of us to come to a place where we are so self-aware, where we can identify our own trauma and we can make decisions based off of, am I in a space where I can handle this person's level of trauma? Or is this too much for me because I'm still working on healing mine? You see what I'm saying? So to tell someone to stop dating is insane, you know, because that we connect with people. But what I will say is this, is that sometimes you got to take seasons by yourself. Sometimes it's certain seasons that you just got to take by yourself. Sometimes it's certain breaks that you just have to take for yourself. Because if you don't, you will continue to date the very thing that broke you down every time. So my thing I want to say is, stop dating your trauma. Stop giving your power over to a man or a woman to heal your trauma when that's only something you should be doing for yourself. And stop looking for another person to provide you with the safety or the security when that's really only something you can give yourself. You know what I thought about too? Because I've always been a person where this is how I've always been too. Because I had a lot of childhood issues and still working through them. Didn't really know my daddy, but in my relationship with my mother wasn't good for real. So it's a lot of issues there. So what I've learned is this, is that in me coming into where I am in life, I try to be very, very self-aware of myself, my habits, my behavior, my tendencies, all of that. And so it makes me more aware of other people's habits, their patterns, their tendencies, everything. And what I normally try to do is observe a person and watch them. And after I observe and watch them, then I'll decide, okay, I'm still working on my own trauma right now. I'm still processing a lot. I'm still working through my own triggers, my wounds, my nervous system balancing out again. Like I'm still working through a lot. So I have to always be aware enough to ask myself, if I start dating this person, is this going to be too much for me? And the thing is, you have to get real honest with yourself. And if you know that it's going to be too much for you, it's okay for you to have that season of your alone time. It's okay for you to have that season of, I can't do this right now because I still got to focus on working on this. So what I'm saying to you, never despise your season where you are solo. Because these are the seasons and the moments where this is where God is just wanting you to work on yourself. Because I don't want you to keep going out here traumatizing other people. I'm trying to get you to clean your own self up so that when you do step back out here, you can step into something that's more healthy, even if you're still working through your trauma. But because you're actively working through your trauma, you can step into something more healthy and receive a healthy relationship. Because you are now actively and self-aware of your healing parts of you. And now you get to see somebody else in a different light when it comes to the healthier version of who they are. And 10 out of 10, a lot of the times you'll attract somebody like that. So what I want to say is stop dating your trauma. Stop dating your trauma. Take time to heal yourself. Take time to become so self-aware of your behaviors and your patterns and your habits and your triggers and your wounds, to where you can see somebody else and see their behavior, their patterns, their wounds, their triggers. Then you can decide from a healthy place, is this a connection I want to move forward in? Or is this a connection that I can't move forward in?